Welcome to the show. My guest today is JD. Can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is JD, James Dean. I'm the creator of Milkrun. You guys might know it. It's in Market Mall in Calgary. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, so tell me a little about yourself. How did you get started in the clothing business for start?
How I got started, well, I just worked retail when I was younger. From there, that flourished into me getting into like purchasing and product selection for shops, et cetera, and it came kind of natural to me. I was actually in Vancouver at the time when I was living in Vancouver at the time when I thought of Milkrun. And yeah, presented an opportunity. Had an opportunity presented to me, and I just kind of flipped it. It originally was going to be a vape shop. It was going to be called Milkrun, but I was offered an opportunity to open some vape stores, and it just flourished into this.
Did you ever open a vape store?
I didn't, but my business partners did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it started. Your first place was clothing. Off the start?
Yeah, right off the jump. And I opened up in Cross Iron Mills in October 25th, 2019.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I got my coat there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to wear that
Super
for
fly.
the show.
Super fly.
What were your initial challenges? Like, what did you have to learn off the start?
Well, step one, like we opened 3 months before we got shut down from COVID. So that was a giant hurdle. That's not something that I had to learn, but that's something that we had to navigate through.
Yeah.
That was massive. And then my big learning steps, I guess, would be design. My first initial shirts that I've ever made at our first shop in Cross Iron Mills, that was all designed on Microsoft Paint.
Nice.
So I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Literally, I just like threw some stuff together. It worked out, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's like watching a bomb explode. You're like, or like watching something like a car accident. You're like, what did I just witness, man?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's crazy. Did you, growing up, did you think you'd be a business owner, or were you interested in that kind of thing?
In some way or another, yeah, because I was obviously, I was a hip hop artist. I was a rapper, so I did my music bit, which is similar, I guess you could say, to being an entrepreneur in a way. In a way, it's similar. You got to brand yourself, sell yourself, etc. So it's not that I always knew that I was gonna be a business owner. That's what I always was inclined and attracted to.
Yeah.
Not even the fact of like being your own boss or anything like that. It was just like, how can you make your own money? I was always attracted to that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you dictate everything in that aspect.
So were you, when you started, were you interested in fashion or just making money at first?
I won't lie. At first I was all about the money. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was sold on the idea of opening a business and making bread.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned into, I'm not even probably like within the first 30 to 40 days, I was like, this is something bigger than just like a cash cow, essentially.
Yeah, like the creative part of it.
Yeah, and just even being like, I always tell my employees, I'm like, I'm in it for the long burn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have this be alive for 25 years and be happy doing that versus making $1 million in 2 years or 1 year, whatever that goal is, and then bouncing out. Because in the end, the community that we've created has pushed everything so far that we're getting known in areas. We have, like we're doing a collaboration with the Calgary Stampeders 2 this year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about collabs. Do you do that kind of thing a lot?
Tons. We do it all the time. So we have right now in the pipe, one that's dropping is going to be at Cold Beer and Pizza. I don't know if you've been there on 17th Ave.
I haven't been, but
It's
I know
the best, man.
Yeah.
You got to try it out. It's so good. Anyways, we have a really cool shirt coming out with them. We're going to throw a pizza party with them, and that's going to be how you kind of get the shirt, essentially.
Nice.
Calgary Stampeders this season. I don't know exactly what month we're going to drop it, but this season we have a collaboration with them. I did artwork for them, and we're manufacturing some T-shirts and hoodies and hats with them. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be sold at the stadium too. That's the
Cool.
crazy thing.
Yeah.
You know, So yeah, there's that. I'm doing a couple other things, like a bunch of Calgary staple businesses, companies that have been around for years. One of them that I'm making right now is Chicken on the Way. So if anybody from Chicken on the Way or you know them, get at us. Let's do this. Hit us up on Instagram. It's at my Milkrun, and we'll make it happen.
Nice.
But yeah, like things like that.
Yeah, it must be cool seeing your stuff when you're out in public, eh?
Dude, I get the amount of messages that I get just from even like, I might not even have talked to a friend for years and years and years. And they're like, yo, like, I'm in Vancouver and your hats are here, or like your sweater's here. Or I went to Vegas and I saw your clothing there on this dude. And I have orders to Serbia, cause I ship internationally. So seeing where I get to ship things to, I'm like, this, like,
that's
people
crazy.
Are ordering stuff out there.
How do people find you out there? Like,
I don't know.
Do you ever ask?
No.
Reach out?
No, I haven't. The only thing that we've really talked about is like where their orders are, because it's international, so it takes a long. And Canada Post was on strike at the time when we were doing some bigger international orders. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy that COVID hit, and it's okay.
That's my bad.
And you made it through. A lot of companies, especially a new company, wouldn't make it through. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did everything. I fought tooth and nail, man.
Yeah.
Like,
what lessons have you learned along the way then, between now and then?
Listen, don't talk as much. Listen, especially when there's other people in the room that are, in terms of business, when they're more successful than you. Listen to them. Don't give them the excuse. Don't even give an excuse. They're going to tell you something that I guarantee you is going to be the most valuable piece of information for free.
Yeah.
Just because you started a conversation, etc. One of my business partners, he's a business mogul in my eyes. Well, they all are essentially, but there's one of my partners is just he owns so many different businesses and so many different ventures. It's crazy, and he's helping me a lot right now this year, because we're at that stage of this explosion where like I don't even know what's going to happen, right? And I've never managed anything this big. I've managed big shops before in retail, but in terms of like the brand and then the shop and then the employees and everything on top of that, it's like, it's turned into this massive ball that it's like, holy cow, man. When this thing rolls, there's no stopping it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you where you source your clothing from and how that process works.
Ooh, I like this. So I actually manufacture everything.
Okay.
Milkrun manufactures on our own. We have our own factory. We buy raw cotton and it gets knitted into my own everything that I want. My weights, my size grading, my colors. We do enzyme wash, silicone dye, vice versa. Sorry, and yeah, that's what we do. Even the hats, like we cut and sew our own hats. We cut and sew our own socks, underwear now, swimwear. That's
crazy. How did you learn how to do that, and why did you go that route?
So I was given the opportunity. We kind of outgrew. Here's what happened. We kind of outgrew the shop where we were at. We literally were sold out of product. We couldn't get product fast enough. We were ordering bulk blanks at the time, like our first, I think I'm going to say 60 days being open. We were ordering bulk blanks by the hundreds per size, per color, and printing them, and we couldn't get things just turned around fast enough. And we had multiple different companies at this time that I was researching. A list of like 500. I'm not lying. The list was extensive. Yeah. And I emailed every single person and DM'd every single Instagram account. And I found one that was willing to work with the quantities, because I wasn't going to do 1,000 per t-shirt. It's not realistic at a brand at the level that I was at, the size I was at. So I had to find somebody that was willing to work with me in the low quantities. And I figured it out. So it's to every entrepreneur out there. When you get thrown a roadblock, just try and figure, when they say 1,000, just figure out how you can do the 1,000. Trust me. and that's all I'm going to say. I can't go into it too deep because I've got this mathematical sales pitch that just works for me, and it works wherever I go. So I can't really say that. But anyways, I found somebody who was willing to work with me. I made it work for them for the quantities that they were willing to go as low as. And I literally, every time it was double. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. And then what country is it in?
It's in Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
My main factory where I manufacture like I said, this cotton, everything. It's all in Pakistan. My hats, accessories, and the smaller things, the really socks, underwear, things like that. They're done in China, but the technology is so different out there. That's why it works for me for those small things. I'd love to do Canadian made. The problem with being Canadian made is it's so expensive.
Yeah.
You know, like
have to double your prices.
Oh my God, my t-shirts would be like $125, $130.
Yeah.
You know, and
what's a normal price point for you right now?
Our average t-shirt right now is like $45.
Nice.
That basically this t-shirt right here is like, it's $45. Yeah.
So you're saying you do pop-up shops at Cowboys?
Yeah, every Friday in the nightclub, in Cowboys nightclub, we do there's series is called the Openers. So it's everybody competing to open for the Cowboys Music Festival. So
Nice.
They'll open for the bigger acts. So they're there every Friday. It's like 8 to 11. We're there. We just have all our new stuff out, gain new fans.
How long have you been doing that?
So we've done it for 3 weeks now, and I think we have 5 more to go.
Nice.
It ends either like mid-April or early April, I do believe. But
Okay.
we're there every Friday, so come check us out. We're at the Cowboys nightclub. Yeah.
Sweet. Where do you get inspiration for designs?
Well, really, obviously, I think of a lot of it, right? But it's so weird. The weirdest things give me inspiration. I have a hoodie from... It's a couple years old now, but this specific one just popped in my mind. It says, "Please, no photos." And it's in like a specific font, and people love it. So I was watching somebody skate on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, and they were skating like a skate video. They were doing some trick, whatever. I forget exactly what it was, but I saw this sign in the background, and it was like, "Please don't take pictures here," or something like that, of that nature. And I was like, it's kind of cool. And it was like a super old 50s song and playing on it. And I was just, I don't know, it was a vibe. So I just thought of this, like it just kind of popped in my head and boom.
Do you just write stuff down all day?
Yeah, that, or I have my laptop everywhere I go for the most part. Yeah, like it'll be like right before I came here, I was just doing some quick edits for our second collaboration with the Calgary Stampeders.
Nice.
And yeah, you know, just in the zone.
Do you have a team of people that design, or just you?
My assistant, Ronald, he helps me. He's there. Like there's certain things that I don't do. I don't use Illustrator. I'm strictly just a Photoshop dude. So sometimes I need things like either redrawn or just cleaned up, so stuff like that. So he helps. He has some students at SAIT. He's a part of a course right now, and he has some students at SAIT that have helped us on a couple of designs. More of a collaboration type thing. But for the most part, it's generally conceptualized by myself and then kind of distributed, and let people run with it.
Have you had any ideas for different products that you'd want to do?
In terms of like
other than clothing?
Yeah. Tons.
And
like furniture, paintings.
Yeah.
Even like aesthetic, like decorating, things like that. You never want to just let one outlet be where you exert everything from. It's always nice to just break out and do something different, right?
Yeah.
Painting. I fish a lot, which is nice. So it's something completely different than my normal life. Literally out there, out on the river alone, talking to nobody in nature, like survival style. You know what I mean? So it's completely different than living the business owner lifestyle. So like that's a nice juxtapose in my life. So
have you done anything other than clothing yet?
Slides, like I've done a little bit of footwear. I've conceptualized footwear a little bit. To me, it's like you're almost reinventing a wheel in a way. So it's just been more or less color overlays and patterns, materials, things like that. I haven't physically built anything other than a custom shoe rack. I don't have that anymore. It was cool though. Trying to think what else. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. This takes up, I do get a lot of my time taken up from the business.
Yeah.
So every time if I start a new project, it's got to be very mapped out for me so that I know what I can do, just in case it's a start-stop thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything that's going to be a time restricted, right?
Yeah. What do you release your clothes in like seasonal collections, or how does that work?
Essentially, for the most part, we will drop per season, but we do have exclusive drops, like with cold beer and pizza. That's going to be outside of our regular collection. The Calgary Stampeders as well. It's outside of our regular collection. Our hats, accessories, jewelry, eyewear, things like that, that's outside of our collection. So those are all different. I guess those are all sporadic, I guess, when they come out. Think of more of a drop culture. That's kind of the idea that we do. It's I'll design whatever I want to design at the time. And if it's summertime, it's obviously I'm going to be designing shorts versus sweatpants and pants and hoodies, right? It's going to be t-shirts, tank tops. So
do you have like limited drops, like
for the most part?
Piece?
Yeah, for the most part. It's not even, I don't even do 1,000 pieces. To me, for Calgary, that's too much. You like to keep it exclusive and to keep it in that real I don't want to say streetwear, but that exclusive community that you have to know type thing. Yeah. You got to keep it limited in a way. And that's the number one problem with the small brands and finding a manufacturer. Yeah. They can't accommodate that, right?
What's the best way you found to grow the community?
Grassroots stuff. Giving a fuck ton of product away, man. Like when you have something good, you have to give it to people so that they know, because they don't know who the hell I am from a hole in the wall, right? I don't have 1 million followers on Instagram. When they search me up, if they stand out front of my store in the mall, it's like, oh yeah, it looks super cool. Let's go in, right? And that still happens today, even though we're 5.5 years old now. Still happens today. People are like, I've never heard of this store, but this looks amazing. And they're life customers after that. Yeah.
Is there a lot of social media then?
I do use it, but not as much as I probably should. But I'm at that age that I'm like, I really don't. I don't even care. I don't even use my own stuff.
Yeah. Did you, so you weren't using social media with your rap stuff?
Yeah, we were, and that transitioned. I stopped. I just literally, it was like, boop.
Because of the business, or?
Yeah. It was doing so good. Like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah. Do you find any processes like AI things that help you in the process?
I don't like it. I just think it looks corny.
Not for the art, but like just some other stuff, some other parts of it, I guess. You can.
There is other things that my business partner has contracted some other people to help us with, and they use a lot of AI tools, which is cool. I don't know if it's me prompting it or what. I can't. It doesn't crack for me.
I saw the other day on a site you select the clothing item and it fits it to your picture on your body. Yeah. That looked cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like things like that are cool. You know what I mean? Like I haven't dabbled much in that, but I have dabbled in like AI trying to get me photos of models, etc. Just like, I don't know. To me, it just looks so like it's almost too clean. Yeah. It's almost too perfect that it looks fake.
Maybe we're just not quite there yet in like a
Yeah,
couple years.
and I could see like, you know, in even call it 4 or 5 years from now, it's going to be probably like off the rocker. You're going to be able to make it look like it's your actual clothing brand.
Yeah.
But like I have kids on Instagram that send me AI stuff and they're like, yo, I spent like $2,500 on getting these mock-ups done and this is all done by myself. Mm-hmm. And I look at it and I'm like, she just looks like shit.
That's AI. Sorry, bro. You can tell. They have like 7 fingers in the picture too.
Yeah, like just everything about it. Like the way that their graphic is, like even their branding on a shirt, it's spelt wrong. Mm-hmm. Like everything about it. It's cringing to me because I'm like, I can't believe that you spent money on this.
Especially if they use it for the art and you actually make things.
Like I have kids that send me books all day long. They're like, can you make this for me? I'll order 100 of this t-shirt. And I really want to order 100 of this t-shirt? Like I'll gladly take, you know, $3-4 every t-shirt you order and make a little bit of money off you. But like, I'm like, do you really want to do this?
Do you have a lot of people that ask you for advice on business?
Yeah. Tons, nonstop.
What kind of advice do you give?
They look at me and they ask the questions like, how did you do it? No. How did you get started? And I'm like, I started it. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, how?
Yeah. That's a reoccurring thing. People come to the show and I ask them similar questions. They're all in different industries, but everyone says just start. Yeah. Because most people don't start. That's the problem.
Yeah. They dream it, right? Like there's a difference between the dreamers and the doers, right? Yeah. So when they all ask me, how'd you do that? Just start. But how'd you open a store? Well, what do you think? It takes money. Yeah. You know, like fishermen ask me the same question. Where'd you catch it? In the water. How? With a hook. Like, what do you think? I'm going to pay? I'm going to tell? Like, no, that's why I'm worth what I'm worth. That's why I'm successful the way I'm successful. But financial backing is number one. You have to have either an investor or the money yourself to do it. And I always ask the young kids, I'm like, do you got the money? Yeah, I've got whatever, $1,500 saved. That's what they say, things like that, right? And I'm like, that's cool. At least you're saving some money to try and invest in yourself. And my response to my follow-up to everything that I say when they ask that, I always tell them, I'm like, don't think of clothing, because they all want to do clothing because they've seen me the past 5-6 years do what I'm doing right now. You know, we're like small influencers are rocking our stuff for free. We have certain celebrities rocking our stuff. We have, you know, all of the Calgary Stampeders, the players, they wear our stuff. There's a lot of things happening, and it gets seen in a lot of places in the city. And they think that that's the glory is that. Like, to me, that's the glory, is seeing your brand out there. But they think that I'm making $1 million by doing this, right? And it's like, that's really not the fact, man. And investing in yourself is the best thing. And it might not be clothing. It might not be clothing. This is what I always say. I'm like, it might not be clothing. What if you're the coolest or the best hardware store runner, or like cashier somewhere, or whatever it is that you want to do, or the industry that you want to do it at, right? Like, you never know until you go do it. It took one of my homies in LA telling me that, because I was just beating myself with music. Everywhere I step, I'm yo, check me out. I'm a rapper. I'm just a hungry, eager young kid at this point, just trying to get my name out there. And my buddy one day was like, dude, it might not, like, you're dope. You're cool. Like, what you do is dope. Everything what you do is dope. But music might not be the vessel that gets you to where you want to be. Start branching out, like start trying other things. Yeah. And I did. I think through that, after I got told that, I think I went through like 3 or 4 different industries of work. Yeah. And
what were they?
I got back into like actual physical labor. And I was like, you know what? I know it because like my dad that's what he does. He's in construction, higher end. Yeah, exactly. Higher end. He's superintendent, foreman, all that shit, right? So I got back into that, and I hated it. I always did hate hard labor. Like, it never was my thing. Mm-hmm. And some people love it. Some people just love working hard and sweating, and they get gratification out of that, and that's cool. And I hated it, so I stopped that. And then I went into work with a delivery business, because I was like, man, this is like, I got no boss. I got nobody that's like watching over me every day. I'm just running my route. So that was cool and all. And then I went back into retail, but shoes only, sneakers only. And I flourished there. Like it was easy for me. It was so easy. I could do it with my eyes closed and on one leg type stuff, right?
Just because you're a good salesperson?
That's what it is, right? I did try sales and other things. I didn't really like them. I've tried multiple, like I've tried metal. I've tried home improvements. I've tried all involving sales. I've tried all of those things. So I've tried multiple areas of sales. I was good, but I wasn't the best. And you always want to be the best at whatever you do. So yeah, I just went back into retail, and it was like from there. Yeah. It always did. Like I turned multiple stores around in BC to make them, operate at a higher level, things like that. So,
do you think your sales style has changed since you became an owner?
A little bit. I mean, I always was a little bit more aggressive because you're a money oriented when it's sales, obviously, right? Like you're budget oriented, I should say, goal oriented with sales. So I always was a little bit more aggressive. I could say I'm a little more laid back now with it, a little more, but I think I'm more laid back with it because I know what it is. Like I know we're not going to have that t-shirt in 3 weeks. Like if you don't buy it right now, Johnny, you ain't coming back in 3 weeks to get it. Sorry, bro.
Do you do the hiring?
Yeah, I do everything.
Okay, so how do you look for people that are just like you? How do you hire?
Well, I try to. I mean, sales, I poach a lot of people. You have to. Excuse me. When you walk by a retailer, when you get served retail and you get served properly, you're competing at that point, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you find somebody that's above 25 or 28 that is working full time in retail, you're like, man, this is gonna be a lifer. Just lock them in, give them $1.50 raise. They're gonna jump ship. Like it's that, So
you just hand out your card when you're
tons. I have my resume stack is like, I could literally today with just the people that I want in prospect for hiring, I could literally open 3 more stores in Calgary.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're always in there too.
Yeah.
I see you all the time.
Yep. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I work a lot of the mornings. It's 10 to 12 is pretty dead. So I do a lot of designing.
Are you going to at some point take a step back from that and just do the behind the scenes stuff?
Yes, for the most part. I'll be there the important days. I'll be there on the events. I'll be there on drop day, drop week, I'll call it. I'll be there. It's the community loves coming in and seeing me in the shop and talking to me. And like I've been told multiple times from people, they're like, yo, I like when you're here, I come in and spend money just because you're here. Like I just love hanging out with you and seeing you. So yeah.
Just like, what's
tons
up?
of people.
I'll take a coat.
Right. But and it's my staff is amazing. They have people that are like that to them that won't even buy off me.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So
that's cool.
Yeah. Like I walk by I'll walk around in Calgary and see a hat or see Buddy wearing this or that. And it's like, I'm like, oh, nice shirt, nice hoodie. Right. And they're like, thanks, man. Like, do you not know who the fuck I am? Right. So, but they didn't buy it off me. They bought it off somebody else in the store, and they have that everlasting impression from that person in the shop. And that's what you do with a brand is everybody's got to be able to be identified in a brand. Otherwise you're a single unit, you're a one-trick pony.
Yeah. How's your online business versus in-store?
In-store is obviously a lot higher, and that's because it's a physical try-on, a touch. People get told the story by my employees or myself, and that's where people buy, right? So,
are you going to expand at any point to more locations?
Yeah. There's a lot of things right now bubbling that we're just allowing to stew and marinate a little bit differently. So we want stores everywhere, man. Right? And malls have offered us locations around Canada, all around Canada. They've offered us locations. When COVID was happening and we were looking, Florida was the only state that was open and stayed open. We were like, man, let's go. Like we were almost, we were looking at the prices of the L1 to work in the States and own a business, I believe, the visas. Anyways, we were like, it was ready to go. It even went as far as me looking at places to rent down there and to be like, how much would it be if it was going to happen? Because we didn't know when things were going to open. we needed to try something different. So
yeah.
Would
you still go to the States?
Yeah, most definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, it would. It's weird that you say that because this weekend we had a couple of people come in from LA, Portland, and I forget the other, Sacramento, I want to say, maybe. And they love our stuff. Mm-hmm. They buy boatloads of it. And yeah, they all hit me up on Instagram. They back home, we're rocking it, it's tagging us. They're like, oh, my friends think this is so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
That's awesome. Would you really have your hands in that a lot too, or would you find someone down there?
I mean, the process that we have, I'd put somebody there. Like I'd have to hire somebody there, obviously, and I think that's what you're asking. But they wouldn't be just like I guess a store manager. The person that I would hire if I opened it, I'd have them with the intent to be an owner of the store, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what would happen. You need that though as a business. You need you don't want to just hire a Joe Blow, and
especially in another city.
Yeah, anywhere really, man. Like you want the people to be the intent of an owner. Otherwise, it's just a check.
What about I know you've lived in Vancouver and Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So are you looking there to expand to those places?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, Toronto's cool. I love Vancouver. Would love a shop out in Vancouver. It would crush it. I mean, I'm sure Toronto would too.
Yeah, I've never been to Toronto. I've been to Vancouver a bunch.
Toronto's cool. It's aggressive. Yeah.
It's probably really competitive, especially for like almost this exact style, right?
I don't know. Toronto's its own world, man.
Yeah. Vancouver would be really cool though.
Yeah.
How long did you live there?
4 years.
Nice.
Yeah, in Vancouver. Just 1 year in Toronto. Mm. We wanted to get out, try something different.
How did you go to Vancouver with your music career? Is that how you ended up there?
Yeah. That's exactly it. So we went after Toronto. I came back to Calgary, and then I worked a little bit here, just a little bit with another store, and they wanted to expand to Vancouver and in BC, all over BC. So I went out there and opened the first shop for them, and it just wasn't what it was, or what didn't do what it needed to do, I should say. And I stayed there. I was like 8 months into me moving there. I just stayed there, and I just rocked it out, dude. Like I think for a year and a half, I just did nothing but perform and shoot music videos and all that stuff.
So why did you end up coming back here? Was it
to open Milkrun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strictly that.
So it was someone from Calgary that you were talking to about it, or?
Yeah, they're kind of all over. Some of my business partners, they're all over Alberta, but yeah, mainly Calgary.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, so
it worked.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, what's up? I just got back from Milkrun and Market Mall. I picked up this shirt, this hat, slides for my wife. Check them out. And if you are watching this and haven't subscribed, please do it right now. Thanks. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah. I gotta imagine, man. I mean, I did, like I said, music. It's similar to this shit. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of that. Like,
I was surprised at how much you might know, the sound, like little sound work.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I used to sit there and watch my engineer after we'd record a track. Shout out to Berg. That's my boy. I'd sit there and watch him. Like, he knew as soon as he started mixing that I was gone. Like, I just would sit and because, like, I mean, think about it. We're there for 4 hours. You know, we make the beat, record the vocals, like fix the beat, or whatever we're working on that day. And it's like, soon as controls get pulled out, my eyes just droop, and it's like, fuck. Like, I can't.
Some of the things you can't even barely tell the difference. I make an adjustment, and I'm just like,
whatever,
trying to hear between the two.
Yeah. There's people who have the ear though, man.
Yeah.
I'm really good at hearing samples. Like, no matter if it's sped up 100 times or slowed down 200 times, like I could tell you where that song is from like wherever it is in the song. I'm like, oh fuck, they sampled this part, da-da-da-da-da.
Nice.
You know, like it's a weird talent. It's like the party trick.
Yeah.
You know, this sample, right? So I'm good with that.
Do you ever think you would get back into music?
I had thought about it. I have a whole album that I have recorded we have two actually. We have two that we don't have released. One underneath Masters of Ceremony, from Toronto. Why I went to Toronto, and then I got like my whole own like solo EP.
Nice.
That I don't have. Both of them aren't released. So I released a single off of my solo like album, and it went pretty crazy. I actually released two singles. It actually went crazy.
I remember when you first got started, there was a lot of buzz here. You're like, made it out.
Oh, yeah. It was wild. The MOC days, it was wild, man. It was wild, dude. Like, again, nobody was ready for that.
Yeah.
Nobody on the team was ready to handle this. We had a fucking fake-ass manager. Like, he was good, but he wasn't anything.
Yeah.
We had, a fucking, like, dude, it was the most janky shit ever. me and Chris were like the only ones that were really, I think, the most attachable part of that business. We had an investor. We had people spending money on us. Like I don't mean just like, a couple thousand. I'm talking like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, man.
Yeah.
Like invested in us.
Did you know that was going to happen like that? Like, was it just a hobby at first, or what? How did that start?
So, what the fuck even happened, man? That was so long ago. I was literally like 18 at the time when I started it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened. I started writing to a bunch of music that I found on SoundClick. Literally just found random ass producers. I was like, I want to be a rapper. Me and the homies, bro, like we were in a group already, and then like we kind of all split up, whatever it was. I don't know. It wasn't like beef or anything. We just stopped. And
pretty much kids at that point.
Yeah. I just graduated, if I'm not mistaken. I just graduated. And then I found like some cool instrumentals. And when I say I worked on this thing for like a year and a half, the 5 same instrumentals, I worked on it for a year and a half. And on SoundClick, I don't know if anybody knows SoundClick, but you can go and buy instrumentals on there. And once you buy it, it's like $100, you get the royalty and you get everything. Excuse me. So I'm working with these 5 instrumentals, and like at any given day, somebody can just go buy them, and then I'm fucked. My whole project, my whole vision is fucked, right?
Yeah.
So that never happened, thank God. But I ended up like finalizing the project, and I think I downloaded the like $2 or whatever it was at the time, the version with the producer's tag in front. And you were only allowed to sell like 100 copies at the time. So I was like only allowed to sell it 100 times on iTunes if I went with this license. So I went with this license. And because that's all I could afford at the time. I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to even do, bro. I like spent $50 on these beats, spent $200 on these demos at this fucking studio that I was at. And I was just making this project, and I was playing it, and somebody heard it in the mall and was like, I know the guy for you. Like, didn't even really know the kid at the time. I didn't really even know him at all, to be honest. He was just kind of a customer at the mall. And he heard the music that I was playing to one of my friends, because I was like, check this out. This is what I think I'm going to venture. And I was working retail at the time. And I went and plugged in my phone, and I like played it through the store. And there was a couple dudes walked in and was like, yo, I got to introduce you to somebody. They're an engineer. Like, they can fucking take you somewhere. And they kind of did essentially take us somewhere. But yeah, that's literally how it went down. I got my boy Chris on a couple of the songs. The engineer heard this shit and was like, you need to go buy royalties right now. You need to own this shit. Like, this stuff is good. You need to own it.
Yeah.
So I remember looking at my sister, and I'm like, damn, how do I spend like the $500? I don't have it. You know what I mean? I'm just, I think I was a student at the time too at Mount Royal University.
Yeah.
And trying to upgrade my shit so I could go to civil engineering. That's what I wanted to do. But then music, literally, I remember calling my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm quitting school. I'm going to rap. And it was like all of this was in the mix, and my sister fucking bought me the royalties to all the instrumentals.
Nice.
So shout out my sister for that. And no word of a lie, man. It was in December we finished recording in, I forget what year it was. And in January we dropped it. At the day we dropped it, 4 hours later, our so-called manager at the time was like, yo, Universal Music wants to distribute your shit. Like, they want to fucking they want you on the roster.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that person was in the store at that time too. Like everything kind of fell into place.
Yeah. Like the stars were aligned right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was weird. It was so weird, man.
That's like out of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was trippy. Yeah. And like it exploded, literally exploded from there. We got on a tour. Like we went on tour with Raekwon. I've gone on multiple tours since then. Like it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy.
Do you think your style would be different now?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been almost like 11 years since I've really taken a crack at rapping. So,
wow.
Well, what? No, hang on. 7 years, I want to say, since I've really like done.
You probably started in 2009.
I don't know. Yeah, because we graduated away. Yeah, right around there. Yeah. I think I went on, no, it was later than that, because I was on tour at my very first tour across Canada, 2013. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe not. Maybe before. I really don't know. I have it somewhere.
Anyway. Yeah. It's really cool, the whole story.
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah. I think you should just dabble a little bit. Maybe not now. You're really busy.
So much work, man. Yeah. Like you gotta post like 100 times a day.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta be that guy.
It actually is probably even worse now. It's
probably easier with TikTok. Like in my opinion, I think it'd be easier with TikTok. Look at Benson Boone.
Yeah, it's
granted he didn't have American Idol. Like granted he didn't have that stint. That song still would be as big as what it is today, just from TikTok, man.
TikTok might get banned and then that's kind of blocked.
There'll be something new.
Yeah.
Instagram will add a new feature. They'll do something. There's always going to be that. Like, look at the young generation, man. I don't like TikTok. I don't fuck with it. But I have come to terms in the past like couple of weeks that is, if you are 27 and under, 28 and under, that is what you do. That is what you use.
You only the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just was so against it. I just like didn't want to believe it. Just me being the old uncle, you know?
I don't really use it, but I do some social media work for people. And TikTok it picks up way faster. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I also see the lifespan is so much like when you drop on TikTok, it's a little bit, it's not so steep or when you drop on Instagram, it's not so steep where TikTok is fucking boom.
Yeah.
10 seconds. Done.
Yeah.
Like that's 15 seconds of fame for real right there.
I saw someone say you have to post on TikTok like 10 times a day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
I spend like 5 hours on one post. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck if I pop on TikTok. That's the thing. And like, sorry to say, shit's cool. All you young kids using it is super cool. I personally think that it looks way too, like to me, it's corny. Everything on TikTok is like super corny. I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm like, you, even the dudes doing the shit, I'm like, you look at yourself in the mirror. You know that you don't think that that's cool.
You know what? I'm going to make this into a TikTok and it's probably going to go viral.
I hope so. Fuck. I don't
just
like
that
again,
one
and
snippet.
I don't fucking hate them or anything like that. I just like, we all know that it's awkward, even if you're alone. It's awkward as hell trying to be the fucking cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I know. And when I try to record here, I can't do a dance or anything.
No, just anything, period. Like, it's whatever. Even when I do, like, again, when I do my own TikToks, I'm like, yo, these kids are going to look at me and be like, fuck this old guy. You know, I'm not young. I'm not 15 doing this shit. So, and I don't do the dances or anything like that. I just, for the most part, like show the outfits, this, that, the other on our TikTok.
I don't think people do dances as much anymore, but
no.
Yeah.
That's like the 10-year-old shit.
What are your goals for the next, I don't know, however many years, 5 years, let's say?
I mean, like, in reality, I'd love to be able to have 2-3 stores open. I have this crazy concept of like a traveling store.
Would you plan to expand in Calgary first, or one in Calgary and then
I don't even know. I don't know where first. Like we're gonna be expanding. Our step right now is increasing online in a massive way, so that. because essentially you don't have to do anything now after that. If everybody's buying online, things like that, that's where the world is kind of going. It seems like.
How would the traveling shop work?
It's just crazy. Well, I'd go. It'd be me. It'd be like me running it. But yeah, there's so many factors that come into play with that. There's so many things that come into play with that. Like I got my fiance. We own our apartment. We got 2 dogs. Like it'd have to be, I guess, like financially viable so that I could.
And would you?
I'd have to support everybody.
Would you ship clothing around with you, or just bring a couple pieces, show them, and then send them another one?
No, I have this idea. It's like a food truck, but a boutique, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So I was just thinking 1 year, and like this could be something that's like a passion project after the brand's popping too, that maybe it makes more sense. But like really essentially start at like Coachella in April and just go ride all the way down, try to have just go set up shop. Like, I don't know if you know the story of Vans, like the Vans, the shoes. Yeah. Like that's how he did it. He literally lived out of a hippie van.
Vans?
No, it's Van Doren is his last name, I do believe. Anyways,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he had a waffle press in the back of a van. He'd go buy fucking literally scrap pieces of rubber. He'd get them and would use the waffle press and make a sole out of the shoe and then sew canvas onto the fucking, to the rubber.
Nice.
And they were check this out. That Vans was such a fucking crazy shoe back in the day that they only used it for beach photos, for family beach photos, okay? This is the crazy story. Everybody wanted matching shoes and you could only get them from Vans because nobody else had all the same exact shoe that was matching for a family. But because it was such hard canvas, it fucking cut the back of your heel so bad that you could literally only wear them once. Still to this day, I don't know if you look at the bottom of Vans, it's a waffle press print. Yeah. Still to this day, that's what it is.
Cool.
Yeah, and like out of a back of a fucking hippie van, and just it exploded from there.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Definitely, your idea is really cool.
Yeah. So something like that. Just spread the name. Have fun with it. You know. Yeah.
That's what you could do, I guess, when you take a step back from the actual retail store.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'll be a surfer bum and sell clothes.
I hope you do that.
Slanging white cotton.
I think that's where I'm going to end the show.
Yeah.
That's going to be the last line of the show.
Okay.
Are you good? Do you want to shout some stuff out?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody supporting us, all of our followers, everybody who's ever bought anything. The Deets with Jeff. Yeah, man. So Sweet. Everybody.
I'll link all your stuff in the description. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Cool. I appreciate you having me.
That's it. That's how we do it.
Natural.